to Casually Dressed and Deep in Conversation with me, Greg Chalmers. CDDC is sponsored by Pizza Daddy, Lanarkshire's #1 American-style pizza parlour. To stay up to date on new flavours and promotions, then get connected on the socials. The Instagram handle is @RealPizzaDaddy and the website is www.thepizzadaddy.co.uk. To see what we're getting up to here at Casually Dressed, then you can find us on Instagram with the handle @CDDC Podcast, and on Twitter it is @PodcastCDDC. Also, as you're watching this on YouTube, then please hit those like and subscribe buttons. And with me tonight is my co-host, it's Chris Shields.
How you doing, my man? You right?
And our guest this evening, having a couple of drinks, is professional footballer Jim O'Brien. How you doing, mate?
Okay, mate. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. Well, as good as I can be, considering the current situation and climate and stuff, you know.
It's pish, innit?
That's it, mate. That's all needs to be said, isn't it? That's all needs to be said. A breakdown of the current stature of UK politics, and Jim goes, "It's shite."
Aye. Well, nothing else to be said, really. It's just everybody's struggling along and just getting on with it the best they can. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a sad state of affairs that we're in at the minute. But hopefully we're nearing the back end of it now.
Oh, fucking fingers crossed, mate. I can't take much more of it.
You say this, mate. You say a lot of people are going, struggling and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying that they're struggling with a lockdown. But I'll be honest, I'm great at sitting in my hole doing nothing, man. So I'm doing all right. You know what I mean?
I'm going to say you're looking a bit carby there, man.
I'm a comfy guy. You know what I mean? I'm a comfy dude.
I've never met you before, but you look as if you'll enjoy your carbohydrates.
I'm a comfy guy, mate. I mean, I keep it comfortable.
30 seconds into the fat joke start, innit? So, Jim, you were saying a wee bit before we came on here about just the way that lockdown's kind of affecting your training and all that. You know, normally during the summer you guys are off, and but this has kind of altered the schedule a bit. So, what is the script with that?
Aye, I mean, just because of the predicament that we're in with the league and stuff, like, we don't know if our league are going to play the playoffs, and we're in that situation. If we finish mid-table, then we would just be looking to go back pre-season and see when that is. But because of the unknown of when we were going back, if we were getting the playoffs, if we're not getting the playoffs, then it's been a bit up in the air for training-wise. And I think normally in the summer you take your break, then you start ticking over. After a couple of weeks doing nothing, you start ticking over, and then maybe a week or so, or 2 weeks before you go back, you start up in your training and stuff, because you've got that start date and you know when you're going back. It's the unknown that's sort of a bit shite. It's just I mean, listen, there's more important things in the world than football, but I think when it's your job and stuff, like you take it so seriously, it's I think obviously as you get older and that as well, it's important that you need to keep fit and try and keep up with the younger ones who are running on adrenaline. Do you know what I mean?
Are the rest of the boys dealing with it all right in the team?
Aye, I mean the group chat's pretty quiet. We'll dip in every now and again. It's normally me that starts it when I've had a drink. Do you know what I mean? I'll just start calling people out and that for a bit of banter. But no, the group chat's quiet. We've been sent our individual programmes and stuff because it's looking more and more likely that we might get the playoffs. I think there's a meeting this week, so I think the lads we're just talking about our programmes that we've been sent out and stuff, and like how tough the sessions have been and that. So everybody's, like I say, everybody's in the same boat in that regard, mate, and people just cracking on, mate.
No. So what I was wanting to talk about is I want to go way back, Jim. Way back.
Fuck.
I know, mate. To when you and I were children, right? Playing Dumbarton. I was trying to explain to Chris that we were a good side when we were DU.
Aye, we did. That's when I started enjoying it again. Just a bit of background there. Just thinking back, like I started at my first team was Dumbarton, Bellsmire. Played with Bellsmire, and then I got picked up with Celtic Boys Club. And I went to Celtic Boys Club, and I was playing. I think I was under 12s, but I was really an under 11, but I was playing under 12s. And then when the under 11s manager found out that like I was an 11, that he brought me down to play with them, but I didn't enjoy it as much. And I loved playing with under 12s. Like, I've played a year up. Obviously, you're challenging yourself, and especially at that age, to somebody who was a kid who's really enjoying it, and then to get pulled out of that team and get put to the year below, and I just wasn't enjoying it as much. And then I just said to my dad, "No, just pull me out." So went back and ended up in Dumbarton United, and at that time, I think Dumbarton United were we were a really good side. Our Bellsmire side was good as well.
Was that the team? Was that Bellsmire team? Was that the team with Gary Fleming and all that in
it? Did Gaz play with Bellsmire with me? Conroy was in my team.
Mm-hmm.
Was he not at Strathclyde as well? Because I played with Arden Capel around about the same time you guys played with all them. So I remember him playing with like is it Strathclyde?
Strathclyde. That was like our, they were a good team and all that Strathclyde team. We did some like good if you like derbies, because they used to play their home games in Bellsmire as well.
That's right.
We had some good derbies against them. That was good. But I used to enjoy playing like against Arden Capel and that. I used to love beating them. But no, it's mad. Like this is the first probably I've spoke about that time ever. Really, do you know what I mean? But they were brilliant. Just the one thing that sticks out in my memory in that is you never felt tired. You never felt like up on a Saturday morning. You never get soreness or anything like. You're just away and just loving it. And those were class times, man. And there was lots of good grassroots clubs running at that time. Like you say, Arden Capel, they were brilliant. Bellsmire, Strathclyde. Who else had the team run about then? Who was the other team? Like Old Kilpatrick way?
It was Old Kilpatrick. There was Glenn Lussett, I know.
Glenn Lussett, aye. Do you know what I mean?
As well, they had a decent side.
Duntoker, aye. So like you've got all this is like good boys, good players, and good teams for your local areas. Do you know what I mean? And those were some great times.
Because I was telling Chris about that when we all went down to Morecambe. Do you mind that?
That's right. That's right.
I always remember you. Man. I remember you hitting a woman with a chicken curry the back of the head out her hotel room.
Didn't need that.
I did.
Well, do you know what? Just thinking that, I remember Mick King gave me into trouble for something on that trip, and it was the first time I thought, fuck, that's like disciplinarian, and like at the time I was taken back, and I was thinking he shouldn't be talking to me like that. Like my dad's on this trip and that, but it was the first time that I thought, and Mick was a big guy in that as well, and I thought, do you know what? Like he's right in what he done there, and I sort of shit myself for that. But saying that, like if I did do that, throwing stuff at Windies and hit a woman with something, mate, my dad would have wrung my neck because he was on that trip and all. So
because your dad and my dad were quite friendly.
That's right. Yeah. My dad would have kicked my arse, man, for doing stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I was obviously I was just a boy and messing about and that, but I think the way I was brought up and stuff like that, I owe sort of my career to mum and dad as well. Do you know what I mean? The way I was brought up and the discipline and all the rest of it. So he'd have booted my balls for that.
So after DU, you think you were only there for like half a season or something, and then you went back to Celtic. Is that right?
Aye, but it was a different Celtic. So you had Celtic Boys Club, and then you had the Celtic Academy. So sometimes the route into Celtic Academy was through the Boys Club, because the academy sort of started at 12s.
Mm-hmm. So
then when I went to the Celtic Academy, it was different. It was more professional, and it was all set up. And there was some lads who had, when I dropped down into that under 11 side, there was some lads come out of that, and we went into the same team there. So sort of knew them for there. But we used to play a load of select games, which we did. In the Dumbartonshire area, Charlie McGarvey used to take the training.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Brian Meehan. Brian Meehan was for Clydebank area. They used to take training on like a Tuesday night down at Dumbarton East. But that was all the best boys sort of for the area coming to train with Celtic Select.
Uh-huh.
And then every 4, 5, 6 months, the select teams for all over the country used to sort of play a game against each other. And I think that's how it sort of got. That's how players got sort of selected for the academy, whoever done well out of those select games and that. So while I was playing with Dumbarton United, I was still training with Celtic, I feel like on a like Tuesday night with the select, do you know what I mean? But the standard then was really good. Because like I say, you had all the best boys for the area, but then you've got different age groups and all. So I was playing against I was probably 11, 12, going on 12, and I was playing against boys at maybe 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? At that age, that's a big jump, physically. So I think that sort of like stands you in good stead as well, and sort of makes you grow up a wee bit quicker.
Mm-hmm. Aye, very much so. Do you know? So Chris is a diehard Celtic fan, right? And I know, mate. I don't even know why I still talk to him. But
you Aberdeen?
Sunburnt, mate. And so he was excited to talk to somebody that's actually put on a Celtic tap but should be wearing a Celtic tap.
Couple of times. Listen, I could sit here and talk all night just about Celtic. Do you know what I mean? Because like it was the only thing I ever wanted to do. As soon as I like went to the academy and stuff like that, like the only thing I ever wanted to do was play for Celtic. And rightly or wrongly, when I was at Dumbarton United, there was a couple other clubs who wanted to take me at that age, and I think like Rangers, Dundee, and I never even like my dad just said, "What do you want to do?" And I never know that. You're not thinking about your route to the first team or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? At that time, I was just thinking Celtic, and ever since I went there when I was 12, it was just that was it. I just wanted to play for Celtic. Like, so honestly, I could sit here. The whole podcast could be about my time at Celtic, just because I've had a couple of beers and that's my team. Do you know what I mean? And but do you know what I mean? Like, just the best days of your life, really, when you think about it. So, aye.
So, when you were kind of going through the age groups at Celtic, what other kind of notable players were you playing alongside?
Well, it's funny because when we got to youth team level, when it was like, right, leave school now and you're getting paid, and like we had like Tommy Burns, man, like he was unbelievable coach, and like the words best human being, like that gets thrown about. Do you know what I mean? But this guy was the best human being you would ever come across, and he had this saying, and it still sticks with me now. Do you know what I mean? And try and say to young lads and stuff like that. But he used to say, like, it'll not be the most talented one that makes it. It'll be the one that wants it the most. You know, the one that's willing to sacrifice, going out with his mates and birds and drink and all the rest of it. And that stuck with us. And I think from that, our youth team, probably 80% went on to make a career in the game, and lads still playing now. Do you know what I mean? So we had a good youth team with a good mentality and stuff like that. But my youth team was brilliant. We had like Scotty Cuthbert. He was a Clydebank boy. Played with Scotty. Then we had Ryan Conroy, Mikey McGlinchey. He was another Clydebank boy. Uncle Patrick. Dalmuir it was. Dalmuir he was for. And then once you get into that, you've got good players coming up. Like you've got your Simon Ferries and that coming up. Then you've got a couple of foreign boys coming in. Then you might play up a level. So then you're going into your Rocco Quinn, Aidan McGeady, Callum McGrew. You're going into that sort of territory. Do you know what I mean? So, playing those times, man, those were the best days ever. Do you know what I mean? Because you lived at home, you had no bills, you had no worries, and you were getting paid money to go and play for Celtic. Do you know what I mean? You were free tickets to all the games. Do you know what I mean? So it was just an unbelievable time.
A lot of big personalities you dropped in there as well.
I mean, what's good about it as well is like we had good Christmas do's, and I remember I think when I was it 18, I would go out Saturday night with my mates in Dumbarton, right? And then on a Tuesday, we'd play our reserve games on a Tuesday. We'd all go out on the Tuesday night into Glasgow, do you know what I mean? Thinking we were the bollocks, and we weren't. But do you know what I mean? Like we were out like Saturday, Tuesday, and we were winning as well. Our Christmas do's were brilliant. There was a good laugh every day in the changing room. It was just a good laugh, and But then when you went onto the training pitch, the standard, like the laugh just went, and it was just here to work and work hard and push on. And to be fair, we ended up winning. We won two youth cups, 3 reserve leagues. So we had a good group of boys in that as well. And I've dropped a couple of names in there, but that's what it was like. And we ended up quite close. We've still got a group chat now. Do you know what I mean? When we first started lockdown and that, we were buzzing like everybody on the Zoom calls and doing quizzes and all that. And it was good just to see each other. And then we ended up pissed, and I ended up with a hangover and got my wee boy the next day and that. And I was like, lads, I can't do that now. So can't cope with the wee man running about when I've got a hangover. Do you know what I mean? So, but still a close group with some of the boys. And again, just to reiterate, man, it was the best time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's quality, man. So. Have you got any like standout stories for your time in the Celtic Academy?
Stories for the academy days. It's just so long ago. It's just like a big blur. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say there's any funny stories. That's probably disappointing. They're saying you're getting me on for stories, but just every day it was a bit mad walking into the dressing room first. Like at 16, you're walking in with boys who'd been in there for a few years, and so we had the youth team dressing room, so it was like 16s and 18s, and then the reserves were next door. But you were going with guys who'd been in for a year or two, full time and that, and it was so intimidating. Do you know what I mean? These lads, we had a lad, Michael Gardine, he's at Ross County. Him and another boy for Dundee, Gary Fraser, they were like so intimidating. Like you'd be sitting like just mind your own business, or like try to read the paper, and you're sitting like that in this dressing room because it's basically two full teams. Do you know what I mean? 16s and 18s, and we're sitting like that. So you're sitting maybe in the morning just reading the paper. They just come out and slap the paper out your horn, and the fuck you looking at, and you're like that. Do you know what I mean? Just a wee guy, pure shiting yourself with your baggy tracksuit on and that. Do you know what I mean? So little things like that, I stick out. But every day it was a good laugh, and everybody worked so hard, man. Like I think we were never really put under pressure verbally to win games, but there was a pressure there because we were Celtic and everybody wanted to beat us and at that time. And I think it's just right through all the levels. I think that's just the case. If it's Celtic or Rangers, everybody wants to beat them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So did you find it like that grounding you guys had as a youth team, like throughout the whole of your youth team? Did you find that had an impact in the way that you were as a pro? And then subsequently, is it like, have you noticed a difference in the young lads coming through your squads, like the teams you're at now? Like, is there a difference?
There's a massive difference. I mean, you can't get away with half the stuff now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get done for bullying and stuff like that. And I mean, when it's a stern word, it's a stern. I mean, it's mad because it's only the last couple of years that I've started looking at myself differently in terms of like, I still feel 21 in my head, but I'm viewed. You don't view yourself how other people see you. Do you know what I mean? It's mad because I still see myself like as a young player and fit and healthy, and you sort of realise that people look at you a bit differently now. And you hit 30, man. People start retiring you. The offers stop coming in because you're 30 and you're not 29. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. But definitely in terms of young lads, like, I mean, a story that sticks out was go back to Michael Gardiner. I mean, this boy was a nutter. Do you know what I mean? He should have done better at Celtic in terms of playing games in the first team and that. It was just because he was a bit mad and just wanted to have a laugh all the time. I think we were about 60. He'd have been 17. And first team were leaving for training. And we used to do all the jobs and stuff like that. And like Chris Sutton was the last one out, and Midge was just bold. He's like, "See you later, Sutty." Chris Sutton come back, pinned him up against the wall, and who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And that, like, it's Mr. Sutton to you and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like, but Chris, there was nothing in that. He was probably just starting having a laugh to himself and laying down the marker and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, Midge will probably, if he hears this, he'll probably tell me maybe small details that I've got wrong there, but that was just one of the stories that that sort of stuck at my head. I think Midge was another one where I think he was cheeky to a couple of first team boys, and they got him in the boot room and just battered him with like boot polish and stuff like that, and just stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But you can never do that with young boys now, and just think the way it's changed, and the old the snowflake mentality and all the rest of it. And first I noticed it was like I cracked at half time in a game once to a young lad when I was at Coventry, and like and then the second half he went hiding, and I cracked again after the game, and he started crying. I was just thinking, fuck me, man, like what's going on here? And he was just a young boy, and I felt bad inside, and I thought, fuck's sake, like does he feel like I'm bullying him, picking on him? And I started to think, well, I'm not going to change. Do you know what I mean? If you think of some of the way the first team players like used to speak to us, it was mad. Just if you gave the ball away once, do you know what I mean? So I maybe have changed a wee bit in that regard, where a young lad, I'll give them a couple, like maybe one or two, and then again your role within a squad and within a team changes as well as you get older. Like I say, you start to realise that people are looking at you differently, but then in the other turn of the coin, people are looking at you for answers as well, and you've got to come up with something. And but I definitely like social media plays a big part in that as well. I see a lot of young lads now where they're more worried about looking like a fitter player than actually being a fitter player. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Try and sort of. I'll do it in a jokey way, like I'll try and sort of put a wee spin on it and that, and to tell them to just calm down a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? I'm no one for like playing up to supporters and that. Do you know what I mean? And again, maybe it's because I'm getting a wee bit older and that. But see all the tweets, and fans were great on to the next one. It's just like a standard generic footballer's tweet. And, unlucky not to get the 3 points today, but the away support was amazing. On to next week, and it's like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? That's my sort of. But I'm sure, because I had Twitter when I was, 24, 23, 24. And I've probably done that. Do you know what I mean? I used to do silly dances when I scored and stuff like that. And that's when I've got to take a step back and say, well, I done it. So these boys are just enjoying themselves. But for the younger boys, like 18, 19, and they're getting into the first team and stuff like that, just try and put the reins on them in terms of their social media and that. It's just like, you've not done anything yet. Do you know what I mean? Stop pandering to supporters, and just use your social media to show you've got a bit of personality. Do you know what I mean? Crack a joke. You go into a young lad's Instagram and that, and it's just all Hitler pictures. It's like, you're not really connecting with fans. Do you know what I mean? If you want your social media for that, you're not connecting with fans, because you're not showing them that you've got a personality, that you can have a laugh. And you've got to watch what you say at times and that, but go and show them that you've got a personality as well as being a fitter player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of that, like the social media thing definitely has changed. And like I'm guilty of it myself at times, and like sitting on the bus and that. Do you know what I mean? You're sitting on the bus and you look round, lads get the earphones in and they're on their phones and laptops and iPads and stuff like that. And I do it myself, but I'd rather sit and get a game of cards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. I'd rather do that and have a bit of banter and stuff. But it's just the way it is now, I think.
I don't even think it's not even just in football. That's an issue. That's just across the board.
Definitely, everywhere, mate. And it's just sometimes it's sad. Do you know what I mean? Like the laughs we used to have in the dressing room, and sometimes like when I go in the morning and I'm sitting there, and it's grown men. Do you know what I mean? And most of these lads have experienced, or lads who are similar to my age, they've experienced the better times as well. Do you know what I mean? Within a dressing room and that, and it's like it's just a habit. Do you know what I mean? It's a horrible habit. You go and you sit on your phone, and I sit and look at my phone and they can't text me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what am I looking at my phone for? Do you know what I mean? Try to get updates on the Tinder and that, and try to get a signal, but I can't. Nobody's messaging me. It's fucking soul destroying. I just want to talk to one of my teammates and they've got nothing for me. Do you know what I mean? They're texting. Who's texting their mate at 8 o'clock in the morning? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate.
So I'm just a bit baffled by it. Like, nobody's texting me. Do you know what I mean? It's just my group chat. Looking for my group chat for the night before. So, terms of that, it's a bit sad. Like, I'd rather get a bit of banter in the morning and get you up for training and stuff. But again, it's just the way it is now.
Mm-hmm. So, talk to us about the first time you made your appearance for Celtic. Talk us through how it felt and all that.
Have you done your homework here? What was the first one?
It was Gretna.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was either. He's a clue.
Aye, it was Gretna. It was Gretna. Because I only made 2 appearances, right? Do you know what I mean?
Was the second one? Was Stirling Albion?
The second one was Stirling Albion in the cup. Aye.
Done our research, Jim. Done our research, mate.
But it was mad. Like, I'd travelled with the first team for so long, like travelling, and the trips are brilliant. You were just like away in hotels, and like used to stay away for home games as well. Do you know what I mean? It was like used to get my mum and dad to drive me up to the Hilton for the game the next day, and you're 18 and you're packing your suit and all that, and fucking sleeves coming over onto your horns. You know what I mean? Big baggy trousers and your fucking winkle pickers on your feet. You know what I mean? It was mad, like, and you've got like, I think my first trip. I remember my first thingy in the squad was Gordon Strachan's first year, because I remember John Hartson was in the squad for some reason. Petrov and Hartson were in the squad, so that was his first year. And it was Hibs away. I think I was like the 19th man, so I wasn't going to be stripped, which is fair enough. I was buzzing. Me night away in Edinburgh, do you know what I mean? Just bit of room service and that. And never, you know what I mean? Don't know what's going on. Views of the castle night before the game and all that. And I just remember like walking into the dressing room, and I was so disappointed because it was the third strip. It was the black strip.
Right. Oh.
And I was so disappointed with the kit man as well, because he never put the wee apostrophe after my O in O'Brien. I was so disappointed. And he was like, he gave me my shirt after the game, which I was buzzing with, and he was like, well, we're not going to use that shirt like again this season. It's only because it was Hibs. They're green and white.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have that. And then I remember I asked Petrov for his shirt, and he gave me. He was proper sound with the young lads and that. He was brilliant. And then the following pre-season, I went to America with the first team. Again, what a trip. Unbelievable. Wow. Do you know what I mean? Travelling about. I never played at all. The first game was it was in Denver, and David Beckham had just signed to the MLS, and he was getting paraded at the game.
Oh, what?
And Gordon Strachan said to me before the game, like, when the teams go out in that, you come and stand beside me. And I was like, what the fuck? Why does he want me to go out and stand beside him? So anyway, I never thought anything there. I'm just assuming he just wants me to sit beside him, maybe learn the game, talk me through it, whatever. And I wasn't even stripped. So the game starts and stuff like that. So teams go out. So it was these wee shitty benches, you know, like your school benches, just on the side of the pitch. You know what I mean? The MLS wasn't as big. It was just, like I say, it was Beckham. It was just been announced. And so I'm sitting on the bench with the subs and stuff with my tracksuit on, and I'm looking, I'm going, lads, where's the gaffer? I'm like, oh, he's standing up there behind the goals. You know, like where we come out for the changing rooms. Change rooms come out behind the goals. And I was like, fuck. So I've had to run back up. So I'm running back up and I'm sweating, right? It's roasting, I'm sweating. And he never even bats an eyelid. He didn't even realise I wasn't there. So then I'm standing, why the fuck's he want? So like I say, in my head, I'm thinking he's like, I'm going to teach this young boy something here and watch this bit of the game and watch him and blah, blah. Turns round to me about 20 minutes into the game and goes like that, run down to Gary Pendry and tell him that such and such needs to do this. He wanted me to be his runner for instructions. I was fucking wounded, man. I was wounded. I was just the errand boy, do you know what I mean? I was like, fuck, mate. I think he only done it to me once in the game, but honestly, man, that was soul destroying. The training was brilliant though. I think I was maybe on the we flew to Chicago after that. I think I was maybe on the bench for the next game against like an all-star team, but I never get on. But before that, like you say, this is just going back to my debut. Like my debut was against Peterborough before we flew it. Mm-hmm. So we played 2 friendlies. We played Peterborough and QPR. So I started in the Peterborough game, scored the winner. Came on against QPR a couple of days later for like 5 minutes. And that was a good experience. Trained at Rod Stewart's house. That was good. That was a good experience because we were in London before we flew out to America, and him and Gordon Strachan, they're good pals, or they were at the time, and he had a big fitler pitch down his back, turned his stables into like changing rooms and that. So we went there, and we're sitting on the bus after training, eating our fucking ready meals and that, and Gordon Strachan's in having a fucking big slap up dinner with Rod and Penny. But that was I've gone back. That was my debut against Peterborough, and I scored the winner, and that was really that was unbelievable for me. Do you know what I mean? But full debut, I travelled with the first team and a lot. Travelled Champions League and all that as well, and I was in that squad, and there was some good trips there. AC Milan, Shakhtar, and Benfica. I was on the bench against Benfica. So even just even though I never got on and stuff, but training in these stadiums the night before the game and seeing how everything was put together and the food and the supporters when you were driving into these stadiums and stuff like that, it was unbelievable. I met him, AC Milan, and talk about name dropping. I remember walking through the tunnel for the AC Milan game to take our seats behind the dugout, and Kaká and Zaghi and Seedorf, and they're all standing in the tunnel waiting to go out. Just like, fuck me, I'm just a wee boy for Dumbarton. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that stick out, and they're special and that. And I think I asked Kaká for his shirt in the tunnel after the game, and he just sort of said aye, but he blanked it, or he'd sent it in for somebody else, one of the boys that played. So I experience like that will live with me forever. Do you know what I mean? And the Gretna game, that was a weird one because, like I said, being on the bench, because there used to be this weird rule. You have to have 3 players
Scottish
under
boys.
the age. You had to have three players that came through the academy under the age of 21, either starting or on the bench. So most of the time, I made the bench because of that rule. Do you know what I mean? And I was maybe doing the best in the reserves at the time, or doing all right, hitting a bit of form, or training well. That was one thing about Strachan. He never gave you an opportunity unless he thought you deserved it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, travelled a lot, and then at that time, I think there was a mad crisis at right back. I think the right back was injured. Can't remember who it was, and then I think John Kennedy went and played at right back, and then he got injured.
I'd have been.
So I think Gary Caldwell played at, it was at Fir
Mark
Park.
Wilson would have been the right back.
Willow, aye.
So
he was injured. I think there was a stand-in right back at the time. I think it was
fucking a French boy, wasn't
no, he wasn't there because he was there when I went on loan to Dunfermline. That must have been later that year.
Was it?
See, I'm just thinking back. It's just all sort of blood into one for me. Do you know what I mean? But I just remember that game on the bench. I think maybe Gary Caldwell was playing right back, and then he got injured, or Kendall got injured, and Caldwell went into centre half, and I think Paul Hartley went to right back, and then he got injured, and we were getting beat 1-0, and you're thinking, fuck's sake, why make my debut? Aye, amazing, but why make my debut when we're 3-0 up? Do you know what I mean? There's no pressure. Aye, which at that time you're not really. You've got that youth team mentality, that young boy mentality, where as long as you do all right, you don't fuck up too much, then you'll be sound. Or you're happy, do you know what I mean? But came on at 1-0 because Paul Hartley got injured, so I went on at right back, and I'd only played one reserve game there. Strachan wanted to have a look at me there, and I was never a right back. And came on there. As luck had it, we ended up winning 2-1. I think we scored. Scott McDonald scored in the last minute, and this is mad because I took a throw in right at the in front of the dugout, right on the halfway line. I took a throw in. Chris Killins flicked it on. Somebody's ran onto it, put it in the box. Scotty scored. So Scotty's ended up the other side of the pitch, and I'm the first one that gets them. So I don't know how, it must have been just pure adrenaline. I've just sprinted straight to him because I just remember in the paper the next day it was me grabbing him. There was a picture of me grabbing him, and I'm thinking, how the fuck did I make it to him first? Because I took the throw in on the halfway line, the other side of the pitch. But that was a special day. That was my debut. My mum and dad came through. Little did I know at that time that Fir Park would sort of play a big part in my career as well. So, grateful in the cup game. Cup game was brilliant. Again, run about it all the time. Training well and everything was going well. And I think so I was coming on for Nakamura.
Oofed.
And so I'm standing there waiting to come on. We get a free kick. So I'm thinking, right, do the sub. No, wait a minute. Naka's standing over it.
Aye.
Only sticks in the top bin, didn't he? So Stratton turns around to me and says, you've only got to follow that now. And I was like, do you know what I mean? Like, game pressure. It was like an easy game. I remember there was another Nugget was playing centre half for Boy Nugent. He was fees for the Vale or Balacquay, and he was playing. I knew him for school and stuff like that, and he was playing for Stirling Albion. But we, no, it was an easy game in terms of, no disrespect, but the quality was so much different. I think that's probably how I got my chance in that game, and getting Nakamura off, and must have had a big game at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Get the shite on. But I remember I had a chance. I came on right wing. Aidan was left wing, and he stood one up at the back post for me, and I should have scored. Like, no good at heading, right? But I just remember it coming across, and I just went to header it, and I lost the ball in the lights, and I headed it, but it was just landed. But I probably should have scored, and maybe if I'd have scored that, my Celtic career would have been a bit better. Do you know what I mean? But I always remember that. Like, I think because Aidan was like, I was pals with Aidan at that time, and he was sort of like, I think he was trying to like set me up. Because he had another couple of options. He probably could have went by somebody and had a shot because he was on the edge of the box. He just stood one up at the back stick and bastard lost it in the lights. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if it was an afternoon kickoff, I'd have scored. So, but again, good times. Even just talking about it, like, I don't think about it often, and I only done it twice. Do you know what I mean? Really, two competitive games for Celtic, and would have liked to have played more. But you know, nobody will ever take that away from me. Do you know what I mean?
Two more than a lot of people, pal.
I mean, just to play for the club you supported means so much. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. And I mean, when I think back on my time at Celtic, I don't think of the two first team appearances. I think the mates that I met and the laughs that I had and the memories that I had in the youth team and all that. Do you know what I mean? No worries in the world and all that. That's the times that I think about when I look back at Celtic. Do you know what I mean? And I got the camera angle right for you, didn't I?
Oh, I know, mate. That's
that actually, I say the Hibs game. I think that was that the first one? I don't know. Anyway, that's up in the living room. So, I mean, that's how much it means to me. Do you know what I mean? It's still there.
Was that a team with Tommy Gravison in it?
I see what you done there. A wee link into Tommy Gravison.
We've got to do it, mate. We've got to do it.
Brilliant, man. It was mad when he came. He came and he was just so enthusiastic and on away trips and stuff like that. Like, that's just like we were younger. Like me, Aidan, Paul Caddis, we would sort of sit together at dinner, and because we were running about the same age and that, and then I think Aidan would just sit and ask him questions and stuff, and he would just go off on one about Real Madrid and stuff like that, and never in a big time way, or I played with him, but he would just tell stories, and the names would just roll off the tongue, and he wasn't being arrogant or anything like that. He was just, and some of the stories, man, they were mental, just about the money that was flying about, and the sponsorship deals, and we loved him, man. Like, he used to come in and play pool with us in the morning and in the afternoons and stuff. He hated going home. But when he did go home, he used to be mad for Call of Duty, and I think he was like really high up in the world. Like, he used to have, he'd like 40 days playing time and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Did he never become like a pro or something like that? Out in Vegas or something like?
I ended up being I think he was like a professional gambler. And he made a fortune in good investments and stuff like that. I think he lives in Vegas now. But honestly, man, just every day, and he would just come in and he would like grab you and just grapple you, and he was so strong, strongest guy ever. Never getting out of the grapple. So in the players' lounge, like in the afternoon, first team were all away, so we'd go in and we end up playing a wee game of pool and that. And he'd come in with his own cue and stuff and like want to play us and have banter with us. He'd grab on, he would grapple you. And if you fought back, you were playing into his hands. Do you know what I mean? You just had to lie there until he decided he was going to let you go and little things like that.
It's like a grizzly bear got to play dead, man.
Just mental, but some of his shouts were amazing, man. He was a good player as well. And then the next season, Celtic were trying to get rid of him because he was just like, he would just do his own thing. Do you know what I mean? He would like, you're playing on the left and he'd end up on the right wing and just wouldn't listen to anything that Stratton says. I think he just had enough of him. Just went on mazes, doing his own thing. And so he ended up training with us in the reserves. Did I come back? He was just training with the reserves and he was brilliant with us. And we went to the new training ground by that time at Lennoxtown. I just remember one day, like, he was trying to obviously get his pay up. Mm-hmm. Celtic wanted rid of him. He wasn't leaving for nothing. He wanted his money so he can go.
Aye.
I think, like, I don't know, at that time, the numbers that were getting, like, touted about, like, he was on 40 grand a week, but if he seen out his contract, he got, like, £1 million loyalty bonus. I think that's how Celtic got him for Real Madrid. But, like, he was just wanting his £1 million, you know what I mean? And he was just... So, like, at lunch and stuff, like, we'd come up and we'd be sitting there all eating dead quiet, and the first team comes in, first team going, and Stratton came in one day, and the two of them crossed. I don't know if he was going out or coming in, but one or the other. And he just grabbed Gordon Strachan round the neck and just done, "All right, Gordy, lad." Just gave him a nuggie on his head, and it was the manager. And we're all like, "What the fuck, man?" And Strachan's just, he didn't know what to do, man. He was just like, "Thomas." Like, all right. Because I think he knew that Thomas was playing. He knew that Tommy Gravison was playing the game as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the way it was. But at that age, and seeing something like, fuck me, he's doing that to a manager. That's mental. Mm-hmm. But every day with Thomas Gravison was a good laugh. But like, when it was on the training pitch, it was serious. You weren't allowed to shout at him if he was hitting a shot. So if you were playing wee games in that, and you were on to get slipped in, but you'd already seen he was pulling his foot back to have a shot, he'd stop and he'd put his foot on the ball and he'd, "Don't shout at the shooter, la." You weren't allowed to shout at the guy that was shooting. If he wanted, if he thought it was a free kick, like if he turned somebody and thought it was a foul, he'd say foul, and the assistant manager, "Fucking get on with it." Do you know what I mean? He'd go, "No," and he'd grab the ball and he'd just hold the ball. Nobody's going to take it off him because he was that strong. And everybody's just like, "Fuck's sake, just give him the foul." Do you know what I mean? And just that pure character, and a good guy as well. Wouldn't fucking know who I was now, do you know what I mean? But a really good guy. Mm-hmm.
So after Celtic, was that when you went to, did you go to Motherwell after Celtic?
I had a couple of loan moves. I did a loan move to Dunfermline when I was 18, second half of the season. Went really well. Like we got relegated, but we ended up getting to the cup final. Mm-hmm. And that was against Celtic. So I couldn't play and stuff like that, which was a bit gutting. Never been to a fucking cup final since, you know what I mean? So little things like that, you don't think of it at the time. The only thing I thought about at the time was Gordon Strachan phoned me himself, and that meant a lot. And thinking, I want to go back to Celtic and try and push and get as many appearances as I can. So I went and looked at the film, and that was good eye opener and stuff. And then the next season wasn't really, like, again, you only go so long. You get an expiration date when it comes to reserve games, and you're not really learning much anymore, and you're not challenging yourself. So at that time, I think I was travelling with the first team, and people were saying, like, you're doing well in that training, and your chance is going to come, and stuff like that. And I think just my chance wasn't coming. It wasn't coming. On the bench, not getting on, working all week. No, and I'd had that taste of first team football. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like playing something to play for on a Saturday and all that. And so I went to see the manager, and I said, I know this was so short. That's how short Gordon Strachan could just shoot you down, no bother, right? So went to see him. He was in with a couple of the other coaches, and I just went, "Gaffer, can I have a quick word?" And he went, "Velocity." And if you think about it, as a young boy, right, I've built everything up, like all this courage, sitting there, probably no slept the night before. I'm going to go and see him. Do you know what I mean? Like, just he'll appreciate that I'm asking, and just to see where I'm at and stuff like that. My agents tell me, go and see him, go and ask him. Velocity. So I've just shot me down. They went, right, come on then. So goes into his office and stuff like that, and I swear to God, my arse hadn't even touched the seat, and he went, don't ask to go on loan. And that's what I was going to ask, because I'd just been on loan, come back, and then it was coming up to the January window again. Don't ask to go on loan. I was like, all right. And he went, anything else? And I went, I was like, well, just seeing what you thought about, because people were like, Tommy Burns and that were in my ear, like, looking to get a new contract and stuff. My contract was coming up that summer, and so I was like, I said to Gordon Strachan, so just what your thoughts on like a new contract and that? And he went, aye, sign one. Like, a young boy, do you know what I mean? Like, are you going to make me an offer? Does my agent phone you? Or like, I didn't even say any of that, but I'm sitting there like, all right, great, thinking. So I'm in my head, I'm thinking, right, he's going to give me a new deal. That's brilliant. He wants me to sign. He's saying sign a contract, so it'll be forthcoming. I'm no bothered now. So anyway, he said I'm not going on loan, and then the transfer window comes, and then I think a few days before the window, Celtic signed Barry Robson. So as a sort of sweetener for that deal, I went the opposite way. Mm-hmm. It wasn't part of the deal, but it was like a sort of sweetener after Celtic had signed him. And I was like buzzing. Aye, like sound. I'll go. It's a step up for Dunfermline. Good squad, good team. I think at that time, I probably underestimated maybe how big a jump they were for Dunfermline. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good experienced players, but they had a good mix with young players coming through and that. And I think, not in an arrogant way, I think maybe subconsciously I was sort of a bit overconfident and going into that dressing room like I'm coming for Celtic, and it sort of never really went the way it should have done, and I probably should have done better at Dundee United than I did. And it wasn't for lack of trying, do you know what I mean? Because I trained really hard, trained really well, and maybe I just never fit into the system they played at the time or whatever. But they had a lot of good players and stuff, and I never really got a run in the team, do you know what I mean? Which was probably just as well. Mm-hmm. But going back to, sorry, rambling on now.
That's all right, mate.
Going back to when it came to that summer, that was when Rangers played Aberdeen at Pittodrie and Celtic played Dundee United at Tannadice for the trophy. Mm-hmm. And I was on the bench for Dundee United on loan from Celtic. And I'd played against Celtic earlier on at the start of the year. I just thought, fuck it, I want to play against the best players. It was so naive. You know, when you look back, and it was so naive what I'd done. Like Craig Levein says, look, there's nothing written down that says that you can't play. It's more of a gentleman's agreement. Do you want to play? And I was like, aye. One, because I didn't want to lose my place in the Dundee United team, and two, I wanted to show Gordon Strachan how good I could do against the first team players at Celtic. Do you know what I mean? Again, so naive, because Celtic were going for a championship, and I think we ended up drawing 0-0. But I had like Gary Pendry shouting at me like during the first half of the game, and he's shouting, "Are you enjoying yourself, Jim? Are you enjoying yourself?" And I'm thinking, what the fuck have I done, man? What have I done?
Aye.
And then obviously when it came to the end of the season, the last game, Craig Levein pulled me and he says, I'm not going to play you. He says, if you've done something, he's like, it's just going to mess with your head. It's going to mess you up. You'll be all over the papers on loan for Celtic and whatever. So I never got on and stuff. And I remember shaking Gordon Strachan's hand after the game, saying, well done, Gaffer. And he went, aye, right, Jim. And I was like, oh, fuck. So that's me. Like, do you know what I mean? At that moment, I knew. And I was so sad at that time as well, because Tommy Burns had just passed away. And
yeah.
That was...
Right, yeah.
I was so selfish in wanting to play against these best players and do well and stuff like that. And there was so much pressure on Celtic to win that league for Tommy as well. And again, so naive. I was 19 and like I said, I just wanted to play and be a part of something. And I still went out with Celtic boys that night, like in Glasgow, just to celebrate. Do you know what I mean? So drove my car back to Dundee and left at the stadium and went out. And to be fair, like I think they all get pissed on the bus back down the road because Gary Pendry was a bit worse for wear in the when I got back to the stadium. He's, it was tough for you. It was tough for you. Tough for you. He just kept saying that, and then that was all he said, really. But I think, I sort of knew then that my time was up, and sort of had to make a break. And then in my head, I was going to Dundee United. I went back to Celtic for pre-season till they sorted my contract out, or Dundee United, and then I knew my time was up when I went back pre-season because I was back training with the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Tommy Gravison training with the reserves. I mean, it must have been weirder for him because it was all my mates anyway and lads that I played with anyway. But for that whole season before I left for Dundee United, I was training with the first team every day. And then when I went back, I was binned off, and they offered me, the club made me, was only like £100 more. Mm-hmm. And they knew I'd ended up granting more. So I knew they didn't want me, do you know what I mean? They were just offering me it for the compensation. Mm-hmm. So a week or two into pre-season, somebody said, the gaffer wants to see you. I was like, all right, okay. No spoke to him since that night, Dundee United, do you know what I mean? Walks in the changing room, he's getting changed, and he's saying, Mark McGee's been on the phone for you, and he phoned me when he was going to get the Hearts job, and he's no went to Hearts, he stayed at Motherwell, and he wants to take you, and I think it's time you go, and obviously kickstart your career sort of thing. And I was like, sound, no bother, I'll get my agent to speak to him, whatever, and that was it. And I remember after the training session, like, I think, after that was before training, and after the training session, Willie McStay seen that I was a bit done in that, and me and him sat and had a chat again. Willie, another great guy, great coach, he was brilliant for all of us, and we still keep, like a group chat, we still keep in contact with Willie now and again. I think I had a wee tear in my eye that day. We had a sit down on the training pitch after training, and it was like, right, that'll be my last day at Celtic then, do you know what I mean? And that sort of just hit me then. I wanted to leave in terms of like, I'm going to play men's football and clean start, fresh start and all the rest of it. But next day I was in at Motherwell, and again that was another eye opener, and never started great, but again I'm so glad I've done it.
Mm-hmm. What? So when how many appearances for Motherwell did you make? You were a kind of a mainstay in the team, eh?
I mean, I had two seasons at Motherwell. First season I had a slow start. I was doing all right in training, and then I was coming on off the bench, and then he wasn't too happy with me, and he done an interview in the paper, and he said something like, Jim's still the same player he was when he was 15. Oh. I'm like, what? In terms of like, he broke it down for me, and he explained it to me. He said, I was already doing the next thing before I'd completed the technique of that. So like, if I try to play a ball in the corner to get the next pass, I was already running for the next pass before I'd...
Yeah.
So then the ball was going on my foot. So I never really started well at Motherwell. And then the big turning point for me was we had Aberdeen away, and he pulled me on the Friday and says, I'm not taking you. I was like, what? He says, you and another lad. And I was better than this other lad, and like I knew that, and I was thinking, fuck, he's putting me in that same bracket. Mm-hmm. And at that point, when I went home for the weekend, I thought, I really need to get my finger out, because if I leave Motherwell, where am I going? Mm-hmm. Just sort of no made it at Celtic. Had an all right loan move at Dunfermline. Didn't really date at Dundee United. Came to Motherwell. If I don't get my finger out, I'm fucked. Do you know what I mean? Really. So after that, and then trained hard, got my head down, and then I got in the team round about Christmas, and then I never came out after that. We were a good side, a lot of good experienced lads. And then the next season, I was well on my way. I was established, and good pre-season, and I loved that season. Ended up getting a wee bit of recognition in the team of the year, and then ended up getting my move down south.
So, obviously, as a lifelong Celtic fan, what was it like playing against Rangers?
I mean, I always felt less pressure playing against Rangers. because that wasn't my team. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you come up against Celtic or Rangers, you're like, if you get a draw, or you've cracked it. Do you know what I mean? If you get a draw, you're buzzing. But like I never really felt pressure against Rangers. Like they always seem to do better against Rangers as well. But coming up against Celtic and Rangers at that time, and they had good players. Do you know what I mean? I remember we played Rangers at Fir Park, and Bugera was overlapping for centre half, and it's like, where's this guy going? Do you know what I mean? It was mental.
Mm-hmm.
But playing against Rangers, you like to play in the big stadiums and that. Do you know what I mean? It's just you're just not going to have a lot of the ball for most of the time. Do you know what I mean? Because you need to change your game. You need to be so organised, and then sometimes you work that hard that when you get the ball, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything, mate. Do you know what I mean? And people are that. Your teammates are fucked as well, so they stop getting angles and stuff like that. And I noticed that as well when I went back up the road a few years ago to Ross County. Do you know what I mean? It's just too different. Like Celtic were unbelievable at that time as well under Brendan Rodgers. Do you know what I mean? So you don't see a lot of the ball, and you need to be you need to be on it constantly. Do you know what I mean? One hanging, that's a goal. Do you know what I mean? One wee slip up or lack of concentration in that. But good experiences again. Do you know what I mean? And no fear really when I was that young as well. You just sort of work hard, see what happens, and I think I don't know if how deep you've done your homework, but Rangers were interested in me just before I went to Barnsley as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Aye. So, well,
mate, I would have loved that. I would have fucking loved that.
I know a guy who works at the Sun, and that came off the back of the Scotland thing you mentioned to me earlier in the email. At that time, obviously I played with Ireland youth level and stuff like that, but Craig Levein had signed me for Dundee United, and at that time I was at Motherwell, he got the Scotland job.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he put a mass email out to all agents saying, if any of your players can represent Scotland and they want to declare, then do it. I'm thinking, he's seen me in training, he knows I was a good player. I maybe never done it as much as I should have done, but that's a chance for me to play international football.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to Motherwell, you don't really know how much people in Ireland or who the manager is at that time. You don't know how much he actually knows about Scottish football, how much he knows about you, or you need to maybe be scoring 30 goals to get that recognition. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought at that time, it's a good opportunity for me to maybe get a cap. So I think that was going to be at the time. Then Roger Hanna was speaking to Walter Smith. He was trying to get rid of some players just to get them off the wage budget, because this was just before everything went tits up and that. And he said, like, I'm not going to confirm or deny whatever, but if you can write what you want to write, Roger, do you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there was never any dialogue or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back page of the paper was Jim wants Scots, Gers want Jim. And that was the headline, and fucking hell, my phone blew up, man. All my mates, my family were getting it in the neck, all the rest of it. I got a phone call from Neil Lennon's agent, because he'd just taken over at Celtic at the time to see what was in it, and Lenny was maybe getting a Celtic job and whatever. But as soon as that stuff happened, I was like, nah, I want to go to England, man. I'm not hanging about to make my life even worse. Do you know what I mean? Because if I'd have went to Rangers, it would have been, or if I'd have pushed it through to try and get there, it would have been fighting a losing battle, really. I'd have lost all my mates, and some Rangers fans probably wouldn't have still accepted me anyway. So it was a no-brainer, right? Right enough. So,
So Jim, talk to us about how the whole move down to England came about.
I remember my agent speaking to me and saying, Barnes are coming to look at you. And I was like, who, Burnley? No, Barnsley. I knew nothing about it. I was like, what league are they in? And he was like, the Championship. And I was like, fuck me. Like, fucking hell, that's brilliant. So the manager and the assistant manager came up to watch me. We played Celtic at Celtic Park. So I'm thinking, what the fuck's he come out to watch? Why is he coming to watch me that game?
Yeah.
He'd obviously seen clips of me or watched other games, but he wanted to see me in the flesh and stuff. So my agent said, look, come and we'll go and meet him after the game at a hotel, whatever. So that was fine. So we went to the hotel and sat and had a chat, and he was saying to me like, you don't really give the ball away a lot, and I'm sitting there thinking, I never fucking touched it all night. Do you know what I mean? Celtic had the ball, and then he was saying you work hard and stuff like that, and wanting to build a new squad and that for next season. Obviously it's a championship, and we'll be up against it because we are every year. And I was like, aye. She's like, we'll get you down and have a look. And that was sound. So it was at that point where I was well within my right to speak to clubs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had an offer from NK Dons at the time, and they were in the league. They were League One, and they were offering me more money. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather go to the Championship. Do you know what I mean? Like, money can be made later in your career and whatever. And I'm so glad I done that. MK Dons were a good club as well, and I don't like letting people down. Do you know what I mean? See the phone calls to let people down and that as well. I don't like it. So I ended up. I nearly went to Colorado actually as well. Colorado were interested. Steve Guppy was there. And he phoned me and he wanted to take me to Colorado Rapids. Jamie Smith had been there. He wanted to offer me a 4-year deal and stuff like that. And I'd obviously, from my experience before, I had been to the stadium in Denver. That's where they played their games. Where I trained with Celtic, and that I was the runner for Gordon Strachan that game. No one ever touched the grass. So I knew sort of about the place. I'd been there and it was brilliant setup and stuff like that. And I was really thinking about it, but basically they offered me the equivalent of what I was on at Motherwell in dollars, and it was just a 4-year deal. And he was saying like, obviously I've got ties at Leicester, so we're a summer league, and in the winter I'll get you back training at Leicester and we'll try and get you a move there. And I was thinking, well, why the fuck would I want to go to America to try and get a move to England when I could get a move to England? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always, it was something that I always wanted to do, was play in America. I always wanted to do it, and it just never happened for whatever reason. Obviously, life happens, and you get kids and that, and it just never happened. But I was so close to going, man. And I remember the look in my mum's face, and she said, "No, you can't go there." So again, at that time, like my mum and dad, they used to come to every game.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at Celtic, when I was on the bench, I was in the squad. I used to sit beside them. See games that I was in the squad, but I wasn't stripped. I wasn't on the bench. I'd be sitting beside them. I just think, fuck me, man. Shite on them. Do you know what I mean? We came to all the games at Dunfermline. All my family came to Dunfermline. Came to all my games. Used to go to like Inverness away and all that. And
wow.
They used to go to all my Dundee United games, all my fucking Motherwell games, and then when obviously the chance came up to go to England, I felt a bit for my dad. He was like he was every game. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, what's he going to do with Saturday afternoons now?
Aye.
So the opportunity for Barnsley, I went down. I came down for a look. Stadium was brilliant. Hadn't actually realised it, but once I drove into the stadium, there's training pitches out the side, and I'd actually played there with Celtic like years before it, like when I was about 12. So it was quite familiar in that. And then when I hadn't seen the stadium, I had to walk about the town. I think did I stay overnight? Stayed overnight. Came in, signed the deal the next day, and it was like it was a pre-contract. That's what it was. So I go into the second to last game of the season. Second to last game of the season was the Motherwell 6-each with Hibs. You must see that game popping up on your Facebook every now and again.
Aye.
So that was the second to last game of the season. That was our last home game, and I think the last game of the season was at Ibrox. So I signed a pre-contract with Barnsley on the Wednesday, and then so that was my last game against Rangers. And then that was it. Just thought it's a championship. I thought about staying. Motherwell offered me another deal, And looking back, like a lot of lads that next season went and got like sort of better moves to England, like James McCarthy, James MacArthur, and David Goodwillie. And I mean, I'm not putting myself in those lads' bracket. Do you know what I mean? But I think maybe if I had another year left on my contract, and things might have been a wee bit different next year. You're doing it more consistently. But no, it was a good decision at the time, and I was thinking about staying because I was really happy in Motherwell. I lived in Motherwell. I was really happy there, and I just thought, and the couple of older boys in the squad were saying to me, "Look, this chance to go to the Championship might never come again."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You have one good season in the Championship, you could be made for life, and you've sort of like that ringing in the back of your head. And so when I came down and had a look at things around about the setup and that at Barnsley, and it was brilliant. I just jumped at it.
Aye.
How big a step was it for like the SPL to the Championship? Or how different were the leagues? Because obviously Scottish football fans, you hear a lot about it. You know what I mean?
The difference was the Saturday, Tuesday. It was constant, and I mean, probably a mistake I made when I first moved in was I was going out a lot. So I went back because I didn't really know MD. I knew one boy who was local. He's my mate. He's still my mate now. Like he Stevie Hamill's cousin. So I played with Stevie at Motherwell, and he put me in contact with he's got family down here, and because his uncle used to play for Barnsley and that. So I'm mates with Stevie's cousin, and so David took me out to show me the nightlife on the Saturday night, and then we had a group of lads that maybe go out on a Tuesday night because we didn't really know anybody else down here. Do you know what I mean? We only had sort of each other, and it took me sort of again. It was similar to my start at Motherwell. Like it took me to Christmas to get into about the first team. Really, I pulled my thigh like after the first training session after the first pre-season game, and I was out for 6 weeks. So that was sort of pre-season. My pre-season was out the window, and then again never get into the team to run about Christmas. But the biggest difference in the Championship is just constant Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. I think that first season we played 4 games in 9 days over Christmas and New Year. It was just madness. Do you know what I mean, on your body and that, and that was a big wake up call, especially for a club like Barnsley. Like we fight relegation. Every year that I was at Barnsley, we fought relegation. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you survive, it's a successful season. So, it was definitely tough. That was a big eye opener when I first came in.
I can imagine, especially because you when you watch the Championship, it's a lot more physical, I think, obviously than the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose coming for the Scottish game, which is also a notoriously physical game, you probably took to that aspect of it a bit easier than somebody.
I mean, but outside the Old Firm, right, in Scotland, like at that time, well, I thought anyway, anybody could beat anybody. Do you know what I mean? It was who was the most consistent, who went on that wee run, and you would start climbing the table and stuff like that, and like anybody could beat anybody on their day, really. The Championship as well, you only play each other twice. So if you maybe have a disappointing game, or on the day you don't turn up as a team, and you're playing a team at home, you're so disappointed after the game. You thought, we should have beat them there. Like, we'll not get to play them again at home. Do you know what I mean? We'll only get to play them at their place, and it's disappointing sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So for that point of view, it's a bit mad where Celtic, it's in Scotland. You can play teams 4 or 5 times. Do you know what I mean? With the split and all that as well. So that was a bit of a difference. But the gulf in budgets and that as well was massive. I mean, that first year, my first game actually was against Middlesbrough, and Gordon Strachan had just taken over. So he had like Chris Boyd, Barry Robson, Scott McDonald, and all these players were on good money. Do you know what I mean? Like, some players in that league were on 25-30 grand a week, and do you know what I mean? We had lads at the low end of the budget. So the gulf in budgets was unbelievable as well, and that was all before like financial fair play and all that. And I think the season before I signed for Barnsley, that's the year Newcastle were in the Championship. So they had lads on 60 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? And it's just mental to think, really. So again, the scale, and because it's a bigger league and that as well, like the scale and budgets was massive.
So did you play in the FA Cup then?
Not in the final, no.
No, in the final. But what I'm kind of leading into is, did you play against any Premier League sides when you were in the FA Cup?
Aye, we played Man City in my third year or my fourth year. We played Man City at the Etihad. Wow, 4-0 done at half time. I'm coming on. So like anyway, I was devastated because I had loads of people. All my mates were coming down. I'd hired a bus for them. I says, look, if you buy your tickets, I can get you as many tickets as you want, but I'm not paying for your tickets. But I say, if you buy your tickets, it's a good day out. I'll buy your bus for you. So fucking stupid dick paid £600 for this bus, and it's on the bench. And all my mates were steaming. They went back to the bus fucking 70 minutes into the game. So they had a good laugh. My family were doing that, and I was disappointed I wasn't playing because they'd come all the way, and I thought I should have been playing and all the rest of it. But 4-0 down at half time, and I'm coming on, so Man City must have been shiting themselves there. Again, that was an experience. Just men against boys, man. It was wow, incredible. These guys just didn't break sweat, but they were so much fitter, so much stronger, just more clever than you, popping up in areas, and you'd have a look and your man's there, and you fucking half a second later he's at the other side of you, and stuff. Just in awe, really. You get the ball and you're just thinking. You're not thinking I'm going to do something here. You're just thinking, don't give the ball away, because. Like genuinely, like you could have the ball on the edge of their box, and you're thinking, if I give this away, they could score. And you've got the ball on the edge of their box.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? That's how crazy it was, and how good they were. Obviously, sitting watching them in the first half as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking, fuck me, I only want to go on here for my appearance bonus. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want to go on and get my arse felt. So I played against Kolarov and Gareth Barry. Remember, was that David Silva played? Tevez played. But we got. I think it was like 5-0. It finished. They took their foot off the gas. Ended up 5-0, and lads are running about wanting a shirt and stuff. And I used to collect shirts when I was a bit younger, but I just thought I've just been dicked 5-0, and I was fuming. I wasn't starting as well, so I just thought, you know what, fuck, I'm not hanging about looking for a jersey and being that wee guy. So I never done all that.
It must have. I mean, I would be in awe. Do you know what I mean? You've got these guys who are at the top of the game. Do you know what I mean? David Silva, just like
he was one around about that time, and still is. He was one of my favourite players as well. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say to him during the game, do you remember I met you in Vegas a few years ago? I've got a picture of you in that. But he was one of my favourite players at that time as well, and. I mean, like, they probably didn't even know who Barnsley were, do you know what I mean? And it's that mad, and these guys are like proper superstars. So just to get a chance and get a day out, and it was a good day out for the supporters, do you know what I mean? Even though we get dicked 5-0, but I was fuming, man. Like, fuming I wasn't starting, and then just sort of fuming we get done 5-0, do you know what I mean? You want to make it, if you're going to go up against people, you want to get a good account of yourself, and you want to 3-0, do you know what I mean? That's acceptable. You've probably done all right if they only beat you 3-0. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just remember them. It's just a different level. Like not even a level up. Just so many levels up that you couldn't explain it.
Even then, I suppose like the FA Cup's one of those competitions where you're like, anything can happen. Yeah, I mean, you think, fuck, it's a one-off game.
Aye.
Why not? Let's give it a go.
Start feeling, and and then we actually had a good run. We beat MK Dons, and I can't remember the other teams we beat in that run, but it was starting to get a good feeling about the place, and it was like, right, let's get a glamour tie. And when Man City came out, it was like fucking brilliant. Like, and we went. I remember like Alex Ferguson let us train at Man United's training ground and that, because he obviously wanted to beat Man City, and wanted them put out and all the rest of it. And our manager at the time, like, he's like, look, if you need anything, just phone me leading up to the game and all that. So he was like sort of speaking to Fergie, and do you know what I mean? Little things like that were going on, and we're thinking, fuck me. And the assistant manager at Man United at that time, like, spoke to us after a training session and stuff like that, and stuff like that was brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And just getting to go to Carrington and stuff and train there as well. Do you know what I mean? It was a good experience. But good memories, and
So
just to say you've shared a pitch with some of these players is brilliant as well.
So see when you get in the draw, right? You get the draw coming. Would you rather have like an away tie at a big like a Man City, or have one of these guys come to your ground? What was the kind of what did everybody
I think
want?
you've probably got as an individual, you're probably thinking you want to go and play at the Etihad, or you want to go and play at the Emirates or Old Trafford or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But for the club, they'd probably rather it was at home, and you've probably got a better chance of like
getting a result,
putting a team out at home. Do you know what I mean? Because a few years before, I think the season before I signed, Barnsley put Liverpool out, and they put Chelsea out. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It was a year or two before I came, and that was a big thing. Did they draw with Liverpool at home? Don't know. They beat Chelsea at Barnsley, and they beat Liverpool at Anfield. Do you know what I mean? So, like, the Cups was brilliant for the supporters and that. And I think if you were going to have any sort of chance, then it would be at home. Do you know what I mean? But
Aye.
I mean, again, it's men against boys. You know what I mean? It was a you're sort of naive going into it because you've got that mentality of, listen, work our tits off here. Anything can happen. We can get a result in that, and then the game starts, and you're thinking, oh fuck me, like these guys, like we can't get through this team. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll play 4 midfield, we've got 5, and we still can't find the spare man. And
5 minutes in, you're asking the ref how long.
Aye, that's what I mean. Like. I'm sitting hammering people on the bench so the gaffer can hear me and he's putting me on. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking shite. What's he doing? He's gave that ball away again. Do you know what I mean? You're dropping it in, but you want to get on in that just to sort of say you've experienced it. But it wasn't a nice feeling when you're 5-0 down. But then, like again, our supporters after the game, they treat you like a hero. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Little things like that. You just think, fuck me, get yourselves up the road, lads.
So, Jim, obviously moving down from Scotland, where you've got a sort of close network of like family and friends and all that, and being a young guy moving to a new place where you don't know anybody, is there like an infrastructure in the club to make sure that people like you can settle in all right?
No, that's again, that's just Fitbit. Do you know what I mean? It's nature of the beast, and I think because I'd had the experience of going into Dunfermline, Dundee United, and then going into the dressing room at Motherwell as a new guy, and like you say, obviously, like I sort of started to distance myself from my pals, no intentionally, but when I signed for Motherwell, I moved to Motherwell. I bought a house there, so like, which is when I think back about it, it's fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? I could have bought a place in Dumbarton and travelled every day. It's only Motherwell. Do you know what I mean? It's like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
When I travel over an hour now to get to Nottingham, but at that time I was just like, no, I like to roll out my bed in the morning and into training and whatever, and just a young boy, and so I never seen my pals constantly anyway. My family would come through every weekend or every other weekend for the games anyway, so never had that problem. But I think just settling into a new dressing room, it's right, you're here now, let's just commit to it and just crack on with the work, get to know the lads. You sort of naturally gravitate towards the lads that you get on with anyway because you've got the same sort of humour or you like the same things, and then just for that you just sort of snowballs for there. Like, what you doing tonight? Do you want to go for dinner after training? Do you want to go for lunch? I sound. What you doing tonight? Do you know what I mean? You want to go to the pictures, and it just sort of goes on for there. Never had Tinder or anything like that back in the day. Do you know what I mean? So I went through a bad dry spell when I first moved in, man. It was fucking horrific.
Mate, have you heard
it seemed there was so much, see, every time I went a night out, there was so much pressure on every bird that went up to speak to. Because I was in this dry spell and I couldn't get out of this funk. And I was just like, I was just clamming up, do you know that way? And I was like, there's so much pressure on me. I need to get her, and it's not happening. So, but no, in terms of settling in and that, you don't know a lot of people, and it can be tough, do you know what I mean? Especially when I first went there, and I got injured and stuff, and But it helped that I was staying with one of the boys at the time. One of the boys just said, "Do you want to come and stay with me?" And I was like, "That's amazing. Thanks very much. Don't really know you, and you've invited me into your house and whatever." And then I just had little things to look forward to. So I'd like looking forward to buying my new house and stuff like that. Got that in the September. So I just got back for injury and then try to get into the team. And then obviously your money's gone up as well. So you've not got that sort of, there's no burden there and you're feeling great. And you're shopping all the time. And do you know what I mean? You get nice cars and you don't think of it. There's no real worries when I first came down. And to be fair, like my mates, I was only 21, 20, 23 when I came to Barnsley. So most of my mates were still single, or they definitely never had kids, and they definitely weren't married. Do you know what I mean? So my mates would be doing 1 month, my family would be doing the next month, then my mates would be doing the next month, then my family would be doing the next. So there was always somebody doing anyway, every 3 weeks. That's all changed now. Like my dad's changed jobs now, so he works on a Saturday. Family can't get done as much. All my mates are married and get wains now, so they don't get done as much and stuff like that. And it's just life, do you know what I mean? But in terms of settling in, no, you're just sort of, the club are good. Like they'll help you anything you need, any advice in that you need. But in terms of settling in, it's can sink or swim.
So I've got a wee note here to ask you who the best player you ever played with was.
Best player I played with. See, that's a tough one because you've got, like I would say Nakamura's up there, but I never really played with him. Do you know what I mean? Like consistently, I trained with him a lot, and he was a disgrace how good he was technically. Aiden's up there, McGeady, what a player. I would go with I'd probably go with him for pure talent. But then if you look at what people have gone on to do, you've got John Stones, who's a fucking superstar. Kieran Trippier, superstar. Danny Drinkwater won the Premier League with Leicester. Do you know what I mean? So played with some good players. If I was going on pure talent alone, I'd probably say Aiden.
Wow. Just
because I played with him for a prolonged period through the youth team, and then obviously when he got into the first team and all that, it was brilliant. And I'm still pals with him now, so I'll go with him.
Is he at Sunderland still?
He's on loan at Charlton now.
Is he?
The manager doesn't fancy him, or he's trying to get rid of him off a wage bill or whatever. So he's on loan at Charlton. But it's mad. How do you get a move from League One Sunderland to Championship Charlton? Because he's a good player. Do you know what I mean? Fit was just a game of opinions. Do you know what I mean? So, aye.
So who's the best player you've played against then?
I'll go back to the Man City game. You could rhyme off fucking Hunters. You could rhyme off the whole 11. Do you know what I mean? I think performances that stand out. I'd say Barry Ferguson was a joke. My first game for Dunfermline, we played Rangers in the Cup. I'm just a boy. It was on the Sunday. Trained with him on the Saturday. Signed on the Saturday morning. Trained with him on the Saturday morning. Straight into the starting lineup for the game on the Sunday on the telly live. So I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm playing on the telly. I was training with the reserves yesterday. Fucking nobody knew who I was. Now I'm on the telly tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Little things like that were brilliant. But just 18, I remember it so vividly as well. Like there was a point in the game where I don't know if they had a corner or the ball wide, and I ended up marking him at the edge of the box. And he just done one simple movement, and he's went his movement, and I've looked, and as I've looked back, he's ran across me, and he got his head on he got a header on it, and I think he put it over the bar or something like that. But I'm thinking, oh my god, that could have been a goal. That'd been my fault. Thinking, but that at that time I was like, wow, like that's the level. That's so clever. Little things like that, like we were taught that. Do you know what I mean? But I'd never actually experienced somebody doing it.
Yeah.
To me, and in that game, he never gave the ball away. Do you know what I mean? He was brilliant. He never gave the ball away. And then you've got like Gareth Barry, David Silva, all these guys. Do you know what I mean? But there's been some good players come up again. Craig Bellamy was brilliant at the latter end of his career when I played against him, and he was at Cardiff, and he was still sharp and quick and moody bastard. And do you know what I mean? Like, I'd probably go with David Silva, just because I got to watch him live. Do you know what I mean? I was sitting there just watching him, and then to go on and play against him as well. And they were just so clever, these guys. You know what I mean? Absolute superstars. So I go with David Silva because he was one of my favourites and all.
Well, I think that's a good choice. That's definitely a good choice. So, have you ever thought about, after you've finished your playing career, what are you going to go into coaching, or are you going to go take that route?
Well, it's either that or sign on the brew, innit?
It's a toss-up, mate.
Fitbit's been all I've known. I'll get into the podcasting, but that's for fucking geeks, man. I'm not getting into that. Mind when podcasts were just for geeks and that. It's mad, isn't it? How it's just taken off. It's been class.
I know.
There's so many now. I just listen to them. I don't really listen to music and that in the mornings anymore. It's brilliant. People are doing it, and it's free as well. It's fucking class.
I know, mate.
Everybody loves a freebie, do you know what I mean? But no, I used to be of the, like, when I was younger, I was like, I'll probably get into coaching. It's most natural progression. And I mean, I like my music and that, but I'm probably a bit old to start going out gigging and stuff, so I'm not going to do that. But I always had it in mind, it's the most natural progression. I'll probably end up being a coach. Mm-hmm. So then I done the coaching course about 4 years this summer now, 4 years ago. And done the course. It was sound. It was harder than I thought. It was mentally draining and stuff. Long days on the course, and then they send you away, and you need to log all your hours. So you need to be coaching sort of thing and show what you've done. Why did you do it? What went well? There's a lot of writing pish. Do you know what I mean? I just sort of ended up. I leave Shrewsbury and went to Ross County. So I sort of binned it off. Do you know what I mean? I was up the road away for the wee man and all the rest of it. So I'd binned it off. And then it was coming up last season. I was like, I better get my finger out, because I only had until this summer to pass my B licence, or you need to do the course again. Mm-hmm. So I spoke to a lad I played with at Barnsley. He's the head of youth now, and I said, look, can I come in and maybe watch the coaches and maybe put on the odd session or whatever? He says, no bother. Came in, started doing it at back end of last season, picked it up again this season. Absolutely love it. Do you know what I mean? No passed yet, still no passed. The tutor came to me and I never had my pack, so I was moving house at the time and it was in storage, so I couldn't find all my written work. But he said to me, look, if you had your pack and I seen it, I would pass you, because I can tell you've been coaching. The kids liked it. It was enjoyable. It had all the points and all the rest of it. And it's actually a wee buzz in that. Do you know what I mean? I've got like young players' dads coming up and showing me clips of their boy doing something in a game that I've showed them, and you get a wee buzz that way and that. Do you know what I mean? So I think, I mean, you're only as good as your offers. It's the same as being a player. Do you know what I mean? But I think if the opportunity come up, I'd love to coach at Barnsley or Notts County, just because they're my two clubs, really. But coaching at Barnsley's been brilliant. Like I say, like I always thought, I'll probably be a coach, but now that I've done nearly at the end of my B licence and stuff, like I really want to be a coach now, just because it's a good buzz and keeps you in the game. And I think often now, I need to try and enjoy going to training every day and that. Do you know what I mean? Because time is running out. Do you know what I mean? The offers start drying up. Like I said, it's totally different when you're the other side of 30. And it doesn't matter how you view yourself or how good you feel or how fit you are. And like people just see that tag 32. They all want the 24-year-old that's got a sell-on value. And at 32, you've just not got a sell-on value. So
it's a short-lived career. It's a short-lived.
It is. And listen, when I was 23, 24 and that, you don't think about that. Do you know what I mean? You think you're going to change your world. You think you're going to get a move to the Prem. You think you're going to be set up for life. And it's just not like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's a ticking time bomb being a player. And I'm really not looking forward to retiring. Do you know what I mean? And I'd rather go out achieving something as well. Like, do you know what I mean? A promotion or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to try and clutch onto the dream and fizzle out away down the leagues. And I mean, I'm at Notts County in the National League and that, and I mean, probably a few years ago I'd have turned my nose up at the National League. Do you know what I mean? But my circumstances dictated that I wanted a longer term contract, and it was at a good club, and I'm glad that I'm at Notts County because it's a great club.
Notts County are a bit of a sleeping giant in that league, though, aren't they? I mean, because they're
Notts County's probably a League One club. Do you know what I mean? In terms of size and in that, do you know what I mean? Pushing we should really be pushing for championship as a club. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean as a team right now or anything like that, but as a club we should be mid-table League One. Do you know what I mean? For the size of the club and that, and it's just had a few bad years and wasn't run great, and but you know the setup's great, and I can travel from where I live and stuff like that, and supporters are brilliant. It's well supported. It's well run now. Actually, I had no problems with staying in when we went into the National League last year. It wasn't a bother for me. When you get older, there's more to be said for being happy in your life than chasing playing at a higher level or more money or anything like that. So, it was an easy decision for me to make.
I think also as well, like the National League, the standard in the National League's got better over the last few years.
It's great. I mean,
then you look at previous.
The reason that is because there's lads. Some teams in our league are part time, so you could have guys who are playing part time, earning £300, £400 a week part time playing football, but they're earning £600-700 a week at their real job. And then if they went to League Two, they wouldn't get that money. Do you know what I mean? Some clubs in League Two are paying £600-700 a week, which is decent money. But if you've got a family and stuff like that, and you're earning £700 a week, £800 a week at your everyday job, and then your football's just topping that up.
Exactly.
You're just topping that up. Do you know what I mean? And that's just for an example. It might be more than that. And do you know what I mean in terms of that? But a lot of these lads, they know they're probably not going to play in the Championship or in League One now. Do you know what I mean? So they'll just, what's the point of me going to League Two for less money? Do you know what I mean? It's too much of a gamble if you've got a family and stuff like that. So that's how there's some good players in our league as well, and some good young players coming through. I know. So,
Jim, what would you say, apart from pulling on that Celtic strip, right? What would you say your career highlight was?
Well, there's a couple. I mean, what we achieved at Barnsley, like I said earlier, year on year, we were as soon as the fixtures came out, we were touted to go down. We were favourites to go down every year. First year we were lucky because Portsmouth went into administration. They get 10 points deducted, so we just finished above them. And we stayed up. Then third year we were bottom of the league at Christmas, New Year, around about that time. And we went on this mad run and we ended up staying up on the last day of the season. Huddersfield away, and that was unbelievable. Like, our goalie had the ball and he's goalman for about 4 minutes, do you know what I mean? The fans were amazing. It was a good weekend. For just like go back to earlier budgets, what we achieved, like we beat Hull, Watford, who else did we beat? Got a result at Brighton, Cardiff. Do you know what I mean? Some great teams who were pushing for promotion at that time as well, and we got results against them. And the run we went on for Christmas, we went on it was like a 10-11 game unbeaten run or something like that, and it was madness. And for what we achieved, I always said I would never celebrate avoiding relegation because it's like you've not achieved anything, but we did achieve something that season. So that was a big thing, and my dad was there, my uncle was there that day, and I've got a picture of me and my dad at the end of the game having a cuddle and that, and that was good. And then I think captain in Coventry City, that was a big thing for me as well. We went there and we never had a great start, and we were a bit hit and miss. Fuck me, man, Coventry City, what a club.
Aye.
Yeah. When I first signed, we were still playing at the Northampton's ground because there was the whole dispute with the Rico Arena and stuff, and the whole summer I was phoning Stephen Presley, when's the Rico? When we come back to the Rico. We never went back till after the season had already started, And then halfway through that season, they fell out with the captain and they gave me the captaincy. And we just stayed up as well. That was another one on the last day. That was more disappointing because we had better players than what we showed and stuff like that. So we should never have been down the bottom anyway. But I being the captain of Coventry and that was a good career highlight, and it was a massive club. And to be fair, because we were in the shit for so long, going up to the end of the season, like I won everything that year as well, like all the player of the years and all the rest of it, and top goal scorer. You know what I mean? That's how bad we were. I was top goal scorer with 8 goals or something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad. I had top assists, which is all right, but top goal scorer. That's how bad we were. I was the top goal scorer for left mid, and I don't really score a lot of goals. You know what I mean? But it was a good year for me in that, but I don't want to be the best player in the shite team. Do you know what I mean? You'd rather be winning and up the other end and stuff like that. You don't want to be. But little things like that made me proud. Like, remember when I picked up one of the player of the years? The guy said to me, "You're the first Scotsman to win this since Gary McAllister."
Oh wow!
Like, fuck me! Like, do you know what I mean? Little things like that, and little things like that. I was like, well, if he's saying that to me, hopefully he's saying it to the next boy. You know what I mean? You're the first person to win this since what was his name? Do you know what I mean? First Scotsman to win it since Gary McAllister. So little things like that stick out, and but I've played for some big clubs and some smaller clubs, but every club I've been at, I've sort of gave everything. And go back to what I was saying earlier about the boys' club day, my dad would have put in my boys. Do you know what I mean? Like respect and discipline, and just working hard. And like I was at the point when I was really young, when I was 18, 19, like, or maybe a wee bit younger. Like, if a manager asked me to do something in a game specifically, I would forget to do other stuff because I'm concentrating so much on doing that thing. Do you know what I mean? So if a manager said to me, "Listen, this left back's good today. He's going to be bombing on all day. Make sure you track him." I wouldn't give a fuck how many crosses I put in, or how many runs I went on, or how many passes I played. If he never got a cross in, I'm thinking, "No, I've done well there." Do you know what I mean? And little things like that, I'd go to the extreme. That was just always in me. So I always give everything for the clubs that I've been at, and I'd probably say, apart from Dundee United, every club I've been at, they've always sort of respected that I've worked hard. Do you know what I mean? And gave everything. And I did give everything at Dundee United, but it just sort of never happened. And I was only a young boy and a bit naive in that, but. That was one. That's a wee regret in football. Like, I didn't do as well. It's such a good club because I really liked my time through there as well.
Well, that sounds like a nice place to finish it all off, Jam. Thanks very much for coming to talk to us, mate.
Hey, bother, mate. It's just a good excuse to have a beer and see some other humans. You know what I mean?
I'm glad we're that important to you, James.
No, I had a big day today, lads. I had to go to Tesco. Do you know what I mean? People getting into my 2 metre radius. I was fuming. Do you know what I mean? The quietest. I was looking at some picture frames for the new house and stuff like that. And this old couple come up and they're right up my arse. And then, so I'm fuming. So I've stepped back. The 2 metres are a metre and a half or so. Get them, but I'm sort of looking like as if to say, like, hurry the fuck up. Taking their time, oblivious to the fact that I've moved out the way to let them in, but I still want in there. And then a young boy comes over and he goes in between us to look at a candle. Looks at a candle, and I'm like, I was like, "Are you fucking for real?" So, it was a big day for me today, lads. I got to see some humans, but I got fucking pissed off as well. So, I think I'm probably better off in the house.
Right, I'm just going to sign off, but don't hang up yet, Jim. Okay. Thanks very much for listening.
You got a prize for me? Brilliant. I want something.
I've got a blow-up FA Cup trophy for you.
Fuck's sake.
Right, thanks very much for listening, and hit those like and subscribe buttons.